just finished our Roots Run Deep, which is the start of a new trilogy. Now I was ready to open up and be more personal, be more anchored in today, in my influences also that are more contemporary, from Erykah Badu to Sade, Lauryn Hill, all the people that I also listen to. The choice of the colors is never random. We have the first trilogy with blue, red, yellow. Blue was blues. It was also the ocean. It was nighttime. Then red was fire. So revolution to me is a form of fire. And then yellow was the sun, wind. It was the light at the end of the tunnel. From these three colors that are primary colors, if we go in the continuous of it, the yellow going back to blue, which is why I started with green. But green is also obviously nature. It's reference to the heart chakra, because it's from my heart to any other heart that is open to receiving the music. And it's also a metaphor and a way to reconnect with nature. Nature being as well our ancestors, our roots, where we come from, everything that they went through so that I can be here today doing what I love. This new album started 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. I was locked in my bed for quite a while. I could not move because I had a back problem that came out of nowhere. And I started to appreciate and long for such random things like walking, going out in nature. I missed nature. It planted the seed for the new trilogy, where I wanted it to go, what I was hoping to create. One of the reasons I love this studio so much from the first day I came here, the fact that there is just this huge window that leads and shows us the garden that is behind, and behind this garden is a little river. So having access to the elements so close visually and even physically, being able to step out between songs when I would come to the studio every morning, first thing, get the coffee, go by the water, meditate a little, acknowledge that I am here and this is my life and that I get paid to do this. Mind-blowing. And then I come in just happy to be in front of that mic and reminded of no matter what's going on in the rest of my life outside in the world, this is my life here and right now. And I get to spend sometimes a month here every day, coming back and forth and really putting my energy in here and feeling at home. So feeling at home in a studio that is so beautiful is one of my many privileges. Realizing that they have this same sensitivity to the importance of the quality of sound, because since I dream of putting all these intentions in the music and in the vibrations that I create, wanting to capture them as close as we can to the equivalent of being in the room is extremely important and makes sense with what I create. And the many layering of vocals, having them surround the listener, is also something that I wanted to be able to create. And Atmos allowed us to do that as close as we can to the vision that I had in my mind of hoping that someone would close their eyes and feel like I was giving them a big hug with my voice and that I was all around them.
Just like the rivers flowing by me.
This is the first album that we created that is stereo, 2 speakers, and Atmos, which is speakers all around, basically. So it allows the listener to really have the music and the vocals surround you the way that I was dreaming that it would. And I was hoping it could create that feeling of the music surrounding you, giving you a big hug, creating that bubble all around so that the listener can really feel from all sides and have multiple me's singing to them. So this studio allowed us to do that and to step into a version of the music that is a little bit closer, actually much closer to the goal and the physical one that would be if I were to multiply myself and sing it live to somebody. From the moment Kevin, my manager, explained Atmos to me and why he wanted to record this album in Atmos, I felt like it made perfect sense. It was absolutely in line with the vision, with the goals that we've had since the beginning to make sure that the quality of the music was as high as possible and that the frequencies and vibration were as clean and as close to a live version as we could get. Because I create so many different layers of vocals, and that the goal of my music is to create this bubble that you're immersed in, Atmos allows that. It's made for that. It's as if the layers and the way they're placed in Atmos really validate its existence and the reason we're using it, since it is literally a musical bubble surrounding you. And I always dream of the listener being in the middle of it all and taking it in as a form of meditative experience, that the sound going through them from everywhere and the intention behind it being felt as you're in the center of this whole bubble. The layers of vocals could not be properly distributed. They can, but it's not the same. They are properly in stereo, but there is something very specific about Atmos and having it surround you and creating that space that is just made of vibrations all around you. It fits perfectly with my mission and my goal in why and how I make music. So it was a very complementary notion that arrived, that I'm quite happy is here now. There is a track on the album called Quiet Down the Voices. I think there's something like 500-600 tracks of pretty much only vocals. That song is made for Atmos.
O A O A O.
Because it is the concept of being inside someone's head that is trying to meditate and get rid of all these voices. So me creating that hopefully will make people feel like they get to erase. So if you let all these vocals get in your mind from everywhere without realizing it, you are also pushing out all the thoughts that are in yours, so that you really get the music be there and take all the space. So it comes as layers that build and build and build, and the Atmos allows it to go all around and build as well. It's kind of a dance all around you and a circle of voices and sounds that are just like in your mind when you have all these thoughts going in and out and coming from everywhere. I wanted to reproduce that, and Atmos allowed me to do that in a way that I couldn't through stereo, or that I couldn't even think of really before knowing that I would have access to all these different mics to create that. My intention for this album was to share my heart as clearly as possible to others, provide a space where they would feel welcomed, where I could cater to their mental health in a way or another. And in general, it's always to create more empathy and more connections humanly through music. I believe that whether we want it or not, many people still listen to the music on their iPhones or their computers and not even realizing that they're erasing 3/4 of the bass, which is one of my favorite instruments, which is very sad. But there is definitely a dream and a wish that people will listen to it on the hi-fi systems, because you will get immersed in the music. You will feel the wave of sound all around you and going through you, because it does literally go through you. And I feel like there's something in the notion of frequencies going through your body. Some of it must stay. So if you do that in the high quality environment with Atmos, for example, you will just get more of these frequencies going through you and staying within you, so that it can bring the comfort and the love that I'm hoping you feel when you hear the music.